Everyone, and welcome to week 2 of our business leadership e-learning course. I hope you all had an amazing weekend and you were able to regroup and recharge after your first week of school. I know it's always just a crazy kind of flurry of trying to get used to everything. Hopefully you are now feeling a little more acquainted with our course. Last week was really just setting the tone for the course and giving you an opportunity to familiarize yourself with me and my course expectations and how this course will run and operate. So week 2, we have a little bit more on the table. So last week I stressed the importance of treating this course like a normal course, except you don't have to be in a physical class space every week, which gives you a little more flexibility. You really do want to make sure, though, that you're putting aside 75 minutes per day for this course each week because it has the same amount of content as a regular academic course. You have a little less having to listen to teachers talk, which is really beneficial. But it does mean that you have to be strong in your time management. So some students will think that they can do everything for this class on the weekend. And you know now that everything that you do for the week that it is assigned is due on the following Monday at 8 a.m. And then they get to the weekend and they realize they can't get it all done and they panic. You don't want to do that. You want to know yourself. And again, this course you can be very successful in, but if you don't manage your time well, you're definitely going to struggle. Okay. So hopefully last week that was really, that was really, what message resonated the most. And hopefully you can start this week off strong. So just a reminder that every Sunday at 8 p.m., I do post this instructional video for the week ahead. There's one instructional video per week, usually maybe a couple, just depending on the nature of the stuff that we're doing. These instructional videos are mandatory. They are extremely important that you listen to, or else you will be lost. Or you'll send me an email and you'll ask me a question and I'll be like, you didn't listen to the instructional video, clearly. So make sure that you do that, okay? It's one lesson per week, maybe two. It's not hard, okay? And obviously, what I do is I break down everything that you need to do for the week. Again, I structure it like a normal school week. So you have something due every single day or something to do every single day. And how you decide to use that time is up to you. Okay, so for this week, you've got an assignment on Monday. So this assignment has been posted in Dropbox. If you go to our classroom and you go under assessments and Dropbox, you'll see that it's the very first thing posted. My Dropbox will look different than yours. So assignment number 1, journal entry number 1. Okay, it's also been linked in here, so you can access it this way too. In business leadership, I will have you do reflective practice a lot. The reason for that is because reflective practice is the opportunity for us to sit in the present moment and reflect on the things that we are doing in our lives and how the certain things that we're learning and just life in general is impacting us. And it gives us opportunity to really reflect on our own lives and grow from that time to reflect. And often we don't have a lot of time in our personal lives to do that. So I curate the course to give you that space. It's really important in a business classroom that we do reflective practice. So you'll be writing your first journal entry this week for that purpose. And I kind of expand on reflective practice here for you. And for your first journal reflection, you have to create a Google document and answer the following. There's a quote by Peter Drucker: management is doing things right and leadership is doing the right things. What I want you to do is reflect on this. What does this quote mean to you? And use an example to validate your opinion. Please try to connect to this through leadership through COVID-19 and just your experiences through COVID-19 in a general sense. I would like to see at least one full paragraph. This is my first chance really getting to know how you write and how you synthesize thought and how you use examples to support your opinions, okay? And the second question is whether you've ever had a lollipop moment. So we watched a TED Talk last week. You do have to watch the TED Talk in order to understand what that means. Please connect and refer to Drew Dudley's lollipop moments in your response. Okay, so again, just reflecting on whether you've had a lollipop moment in your life. And if you're like, what's a lollipop moment? It's probably because you didn't do the work from last week. So you'll probably want to go back and review last week's material. Okay. So this is your very first assignment. It's due as a separate Google document posted in Dropbox no later than next Monday, September 19th at 8 a.m. So you have the whole week to complete this assignment. Please make sure, however, that you complete the participation activity for Monday on Monday. That is your attendance check for Monday's class. If you complete this on Tuesday, you will be marked absent on Monday. Okay. We only have to do this for one more week. Next week, there will be only one participation activity for the entire week, and you'll complete that for your entire week's worth of attendance. But for the first 2 weeks, the e-learning program leaders are very particular about making sure that e-learning students are in their classes, and it's the only way that we can really track it. Okay. On Tuesday, you have a second instructional video to watch. This is an instructional video on using Chicago style citations. I've put this video together for you. It's about 8 minutes, and it teaches you how to do Chicago citations in the way that I feel is the easiest to explain. We do use Chicago citations in this course. So anytime you are using research in any of your work moving forward in this course, I expect to see a citation done in Chicago style. If you do not, it is considered plagiarism. So the first offense, I will write you and say, I cannot accept this. You have to redo it with citations. And then, of course, further offenses will mean that I won't mark it at all. Okay. So again, it is really important in an academic classroom that we learn to use citations. I think this video makes it really simple, but as always, if you're struggling, just send me an email. So if you have an assignment coming up and you're like, oh no, I need to use a citation and I don't really know how to do this, that's where you would send me an email, and we could either set up a Google Meet to go through it together. You could share with me your work and I could verify that the citation has been done appropriately, etc. Okay, so that's where that initiative comes into play, especially in an e-learning classroom where you're not in a physical class space. You are going to have to reach out and ask for help because I can't read your minds, unfortunately, right? So some other great tools are here for you as well to support your learning on how to do citations. There's how to write a business report, which we'll be doing in this course, and there's a great OWL citation guide to help you as well. So please review these resources and make sure you watch that video. And also you might want to include like a bookmark for this video just so you can refer back to it. I also want to draw your attention to under content in our classroom. There is a whole folder here for you on Chicago style citations. And I've actually included the video that I'm referring to. So this instructional video that I'm asking you to watch, as well as a whole bunch of awesome resources for how to do citations in Chicago style. So a whole lesson, a Chicago style summary sheet, some practice sheets, the practice answers, and then also a sample essay, which is actually how I would learn. I like to just see how it should look. And so the sample essay is an amazing tool for you. So you really do have everything you need to be, a successful learner, e-learning learner for Chicago style citations. It just is going to require that you put some time into it. So remember, every class period is supposed to be 75 minutes worth of work. So if you spend 75 minutes trying to learn how to do Chicago style citations, you're going to be set. You probably don't even need to use that much time. Okay. All right. On Wednesday, September 14th, you have your very first instructional lesson. So lessons in this course require that you open up, I create slide decks for lessons. So you open up the slide deck and you go through the material, and there's some interactive materials. There's things where I have you participate. There's videos to watch. I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you take notes on these slide decks and that you keep course notes in a separate folder in Google Docs for yourselves. At the very least, you should make a copy of these slide decks if you choose not to take notes, because you do have 2 unit tests and a final examination. And if you don't keep notes as you go through this content, it's so easy to get disorganized in an e-learning classroom. And when it comes time for the test, you're not going to know where to even start. However, if you've been keeping course notes as you go through these slide decks, all you have to do is open up your notes and review them. The great thing about an e-learning course is also I can't stop if you have your notes open in front of you while you're writing the test. So if you have great course notes, that's even more convenient for you. What I will say is this: students who do not study for their tests in e-learning classrooms end up doing very poorly on their tests, because you have to write your tests within a certain period of time. And if you're spending the majority of your time looking up the answers in your notes, you are going to run out of time. It happens every single year. So I strongly recommend you keep great course notes. And I also recommend you study before your tests. just giving you some tips from something I've learned over 8 years of running this course. Okay, so that is your first slide deck. Strongly recommend you take notes on that. And also an article. I also recommend that you take general notes on any articles that I assign to you, any readings that I assign to you, because you will see that they come back into play throughout the course. Okay, so you've got the lesson, the article, and then the participation activity. On Thursday, you have a new assignment. This is based on the lesson from Wednesday. So this assignment can also be found in Dropbox. Okay, if you go under assessments, Dropbox, and you'll find it right here, the dynamic new workplace. Now you're going to see that this has been labeled an activity or a badge. Notice that your first assignment is listed as assignment 1, and this one here is assignment or activity badge 1. I mark, of course, if it's an assignment, that's a formal mark that goes into your mark book and your overall grade. Badges and activities are marks, but they are cumulative. So what you get for an activity or a badge is a completion mark. If you complete the assignment, and if you do it well, if you do it right, you get a class award, and you'll actually see that come through when you open up your Brightspace. You'll say, "Congratulations, you completed this badge." Okay. Every term, so up until midterm, I think there's about 10 different activities or class badges that you have to earn, and that will be a mark out of 10 on your midterm report card. So if you choose not to do this activity or badge, that's going to be 10% essentially off of that overall mark on your report card. These are really, really, really easy marks. Okay, these are also really important things that you do because it's the scaffolding of your learning. So this assignment is going to have you reflect on what you learned from that lesson. It helps you apply that lesson. And there are also notes for your studying purposes for unit tests and projects. So they are essential to your success, but I just wanted to explain the difference between an assignment and an activity or badge. Okay, and anytime you complete a badge, like I said, you'll see an award pop up on your Brightspace shell that says, "Congratulations, you completed that." And I think by midterms, you should have 10 completed badges, but I will confirm that as we get closer to midterms. Okay. So that's Thursday's class. And then Friday, you have a work period to complete all of that from this week. So again, just reiterating, this week you have 2 assignments in Dropbox. You've got your first reflective journal, and you have the first course badge, which is the, dynamic new workplace activity. All right. You also have your Chicago style citations instructional video to review and making sure that you're going through Chicago style citations at length. You have your very first slide deck lesson. Strongly recommend you take notes on the lesson as well as the article. You have 5 participation activities to complete each day on the day in which they are assigned for your attendance check. And that is it, Friday, to wrap it all up. All of this is due Monday at 8 a.m. And of course, on Sunday at 8 p.m., I will be posting the content for next week as well as the instructional video. Okay? So if you have any questions, as always, please send me an email. It's really important that if you are lost or you're confused, that you take that initiative in the eLearning classroom, because of course, that's the only way that we can actually connect and communicate. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you online.